So I'm going to be talking about doing this type of work on breaking news deadlines, which is something we do a lot over at AP. So what you're looking at right now is a picture of a wire photo. This is a device that they started using in the 30s, and while AP and other news agencies had been transmitting text over news wires, this was a new device that started to allow us to transmit photos. It was a turning point in platforms. But now, so we have text, photo, and video. But when we do interactive journalism, we're an interactive department, we talk about what's next. There's about 20 of us who do this type of work over at AP. We span the nation, from Phoenix to New York and DC, and we also have someone in Mexico City. So we do things on breaking news deadlines. This is our app showing off some breaking news. We don't get all the information at once, though, so that's what's key. We've talked a lot about sort of big projects, and we do those too. But what happens when you just have a little bit of information at a time? We also have to consider that we're doing these things, as Brian mentioned, for phones and tablets, which are getting more and more prevalent. We use responsive design to make our work at all different sizes, not just so it works on your phone, but also so when we put it in other people's sites, it's there. So in breaking news, like I said, you just get a little bit of information. We don't lay the entire brick wall at once. We think about what we can do immediately with that one bit of information that's happening by doing things like updates. Sometimes the information that we get is numbers, and it comes to us in formats like this. So it looks like it's well organized, but this is on a website, and I can't move those numbers around. And as data journalists, we like to put things in buckets that we can change the order of so we can start to see what's happening. That's where the programming comes in. So this is a picture, looks a little scary, but it's of something called a terminal. It's a way to manipulate data when you have it sort of in a structure like that, to get it out of a web page, to put different orders and things. This was looking at the budget proposal and organizing information. Eventually, we hope to end up with something like a spreadsheet in rows and columns. It looks similar to the 2 slides ago, but the difference is that now we can resort it. So you do what's called interviewing the data. You look at it, you ask it questions, just as you would a person. What's the highest? What's the lowest? What happens commonly? When we do updates, sometimes we just have a bit of information, and so we may have an ongoing timeline. This is an obituary timeline for Roger Ebert. We had things set up for a lot of famous people, and then the death gets added on. Similar things with maps. We do. These are not going by numbers, but different categories for gay marriage laws. And you can also scroll that bit at the top to see the time change. But the different colors signify different types of laws. So one consideration when you talk about data analysis or finding a story in the data, it really goes back to Sesame Street. What does not belong here? There is a red box and 3 blue boxes. Something's different about the red box. That's something newsworthy, probably. The others are different sizes, but that doesn't look as different as the blue and red. So then we try to convey that information in print graphics or often charts like this, where we have the system set up and ready to go. I don't have to tell you that that number is decreasing. You can see very plainly that that number is decreasing. And you can move your mouse over it to see what you want to see. That's why we have the different arrows. We do something called nonlinear storytelling. There's a beginning, middle, and end, but you determine it. We will help guide you through the information, but each person's experience with our stories, we hope, is a little bit different depending on your interests. So we make things like these zoomable maps, right? And so this is looking at reduction in post office hours. You care more about your post office than someone does the next town over. They care about a different post office. Look it up. See how they compare it in West Virginia overall and in Morgantown specifically. To get these systems ready to go, we plan ahead. We know certain things are going to happen in advance, and so we try to build systems via code that will enable us to handle them as they go. One thing we did this on recently was Obama's budget proposal that was released last week. And when we set up these systems, we make it so we do as little as possible. We do not want to be running like the people on the left. We want to let the computer do it, like on the right. It's smarter, it makes less mistakes under pressure, and it's just going to be a cleaner process, plus it's repeatable. Here's what that budget proposal interactive looks like, and you can compare Obama's proposal to 5th-year budgets for past presidents. Again, we knew we were going to do all this in advance, we set it up, and then 20 minutes after a budget proposal embargo was released, we had this up and ready to go on customer sites. We also did it for NCAA brackets. Again, we didn't know who was going to win, or we would have won a lot more money in our office pool, but as the games progressed, you are able to see which color takes over and then which team eventually won. Again, all custom, but set up in advance because we knew it would occur. Then ultimately, we take these systems, and if we use them a lot, we repeat them over and over again. Maps are something we do constantly, so similar code drives US and world and enables us to get them out quickly, often less than half an hour after news breaks, just with a quick update. And so we're seeking in our news applications that you experience and also in our own jobs to create what my Washington Bureau Chief Sally Busby calls an intellectual home. Thank you.